The most affordable areas of Windsor that aren't too ghetto. That's what this video is about today. So here's how it's going to work. We're going to start with like around the $500,000 mark, and then we're going to work our way down area by area until we get to some of the cheapest places in Windsor, again, that aren't too ghetto. So I'm not listing everywhere in the entire city on this list. I'm just going to go over like 5 or 6 places that I think are pretty good for different price ranges, okay? So as we go, the quality of neighborhood will still be dropping price point by price point, obviously. So you just watch this video and try and figure out where you're comfortable with. What's a good area for you to live in based on your price point. Okay? My name is Ryan. I'm an appraiser in Windsor, and I am a real estate agent in Windsor. My whole life revolves around real estate. So if you're looking to purchase a home, whether it's an investment property or a place for you in the Windsor region, people reach out to me from YouTube all the time. You can as well. My phone number is right there on the screen. Number 1 is Forest Glade. Forest Glade is interesting because, so like the top half is not typically as nice as the bottom half, although there is nice streets mixed in everywhere. But Forest Glade's a really good area. So the entire community kind of revolves around this right here. It's their community center right in the heart of the entire neighborhood. This has everything you'll need. They have ice rinks, which they have obviously hockey games at, as well as like ringette and lacrosse games. They've got a gymnasium in there. They have summer programs for the kids in there. They've got new basketball courts they just put in. They got tennis courts. They got jungle gyms and play areas and a skate park, and literally anything you can think of is right there. They have ball diamonds there. And then weaving and winding around that park is all these different residential streets. That's where you're going to find houses like this one right here, okay? So this sold right around the $550,000 mark. That's probably about the most amount of space you can get for that $550 price range is houses like this right here. It's going to be 12 to 1,500 square feet above grade, and then it's a bi-level, so underneath in the basement, it's going to be another 12 to 1,500 square feet, and it's got low windows. Like, there's a lot of light getting in down there because it's a bi-level. It's not very deep into the foundation. So, they're a really good option for somebody in that price range. Side note, any price that I give you today can be out of date really quickly. Like, the market feels like it's really heating up this year. I'm recording this in February of 2023. We'll see what happens in the future. If you need more updated pricing, feel free to reach out to me. Like I said at the beginning of this video, my phone number is on the screen right there. But yeah, so just keep that in mind. Also, I do send out monthly market updates. So one video every month that tells you what the prices are. You can sign up for those down below. I don't post them on YouTube really. So down below, there's a link there to sign up for those. So here's another one. You see a lot of back splits like this in the Forest Glade area. Again, lots of living space for what it is. They sell for less than like a 2-story or a raised ranch, and it's just because there's a lot of stairs. If you don't mind stairs, this is good for you, but back splits, you walk in, there's a kitchen, a living room, you have short stairs going up to the bedrooms, and then short stairs going down to the basement, where you'll have another living area, and usually a bedroom or a bathroom or whatever, okay? So they are a lot of stairs, but again, if you want to get in at a cheaper price point, these are good. Some really nice ones were selling for as much as $700,000 back when the market was really hot in like 2021. Now it's calmed down a bit, and you can be getting into these back splits around $500 to $550. So if you don't have that much money, but you want to get into Forest Glade, there's 2 other options for you. One, a back split like this. Okay, first of all, just look at it. There's less curb appeal, right? It doesn't look as nice from the street, so they sell for a bit less. They're also a little bit smaller. Okay, this is probably 1,100 square feet rather than 12 or 1,500. And then on top of that, there's no garage. This is 3 bedrooms, and this is only 1 bathroom, and you're going to get these in the 400s somewhere, depending on how well it looks inside. So your cheapest option to get into Forest Glade is to purchase a semi-detached house. So look at this one right here. This is a big box attached to another big box. And inside, you're going to have 3 really good-sized bedrooms. That's what I like about these semis and a lot of townhomes. For whatever reason, they just build them with decent-sized bedrooms, whereas old homes that are detached will sometimes have really small bedrooms. But you can be sure you're going to have decent bedroom sizes in these. They're going to sell anywhere from high 3s to like mid 4s, okay? So you might be able to get into one of these underneath the $400,000 mark, but it's going to be really hard, and it's going to be high 3s. All right, up next, Riverside. Riverside is a nice area with a really wide price range. So you can get, like, there's the newer ones that are usually 5 years old or newer, and they're selling anywhere from like $750, $800 to over $1 million, okay? So that's not what we're talking about today. Today, we're talking about this section right here of Riverside. Over here, you're getting a lot of small family homes, a ranch, or a 1.5-story home, and they're usually going to have 3 bedrooms and then 1 bathroom on the main floor, and then usually 1 more in the finished basement down below. So this guy right here, this sold for $500,000. It's a nice, cute little home for a young family or a retired couple, usually is who's buying these homes. And then over here, you've got another one. It's the same idea, but it has a garage, and it sold for less than the other one. Just over $400,000. And the reason is because it was straight out of the 1970s inside. Like, it had not been updated cosmetically since the 1970s. So then if you go west of Jefferson Street, this street right here, the prices drop a little bit lower, and they're still pretty nice streets, okay? So if you look for streets like Valaire and Esdras, okay, I find these have pretty good houses on it. Like this one right here sold around the $400,000 mark. It's the 1.5-story I was talking about. And then this one here sold for $450,000. If your max budget is $500,000, I think this area is probably the best bang for your buck. By the way, this video is brought to you by ER Plumbing Solutions, okay? So our next area that we're going to talk about, a lot of people like to buy homes in this area and flip them and renovate them. If you're going to do something like that, these guys are a great name to have handy, okay? They're really good with kitchen and bath renovations. Any residential plumbing, to be honest with you. They do in-floor heating, and then they also do commercial plumbing as well. So anything you need done, if you're a flipper, they're great. Even if you're not a flipper and you just need someone to come unclog your toilet, ER Plumbing Solutions, really good people to have in mind. Their phone number is right there on the screen. Their website and everything is down below in the description. And if you would like to purchase ad space on this YouTube channel, you can reach out to me as well. My info is down in the description as well. Oh, also, when you call ER Plumbing Solutions, tell them Ryan sent you, okay? They'll treat you nice. Up next, Walkerville. This is probably the cheapest, quote-unquote, nice area in all of Windsor, okay? It's actually a pretty low price point to get into this region. So it's bordered here. I'll show you on the map. Walker Road to the east, and then to the west, Parent Avenue. Although, when people say Walkerville, they're mostly referring to the eastern half of this whole section, okay? So we're talking streets like Argyle, Devonshire, Kildare, Chilver, Windermere, Moy. The further west you go, the less prestigious it is until you end up getting at Parent Avenue, which doesn't really look anything like the Walkerville we're talking about. It's not terrible to buy a house over on Parent. You can get a decent house at a decent price point, but it is a little bit different than if you're over on Chilver. Walkerville is known for trendy bars and restaurants and stuff like that. We'll talk about all that in a second. First, let's look at some homes, okay? So, on the lower end, this house sold for $400K. It has 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, but there was no driveway there at all. This guy sold just a little bit over $400,000. It only had 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. I can't show you pictures of the inside, but it was really, 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 really nice. Okay, now this one is a little bit more expensive, but it's what a lot of people call me about, okay? So this one had a rentable in-law suite in the basement. So this sold just over $500,000. These don't come up on the market all that often. People call me all the time. They say, Ryan, I want a house and I want a rentable in-law suite in the basement. It's a great investment opportunity. And you're right, there's just not a lot of them. And so when they do come up, all those people kind of run to them. And so the price is going to be higher. If you can make money off it, if you can put someone in the basement, the price is going to be higher. So just keep that in mind when looking for something with a rentable in-law suite, which is why I tell people you need like minimum $500,000 if you want a duplex. You can sometimes get some for less. Like there was one that sold in Walkerville recently for like $450,000, but it needed $75,000 in renovations. Essentially, you need $500,000 minimum. And speaking of duplexes, here is a full legal duplex that sold recently right around that $600,000 mark. It was big, it was beautiful, and there wasn't really much that needed to be done. It was a great property. So like I said earlier, Walkerville is very trendy, so it's going to be easy to rent a place out to people in Walkerville. You're near a lot of nice bars and restaurants, like Winology is a beautiful spot to stop by. The Twisted Apron has great brunch. You get Vito's Pizzeria, which is more of just like an Italian restaurant, not like a fast food pizza place or anything like that. It's a really nice spot. And then they'll have like night markets throughout the summer where they'll shut down the street. Everyone will set up vendors everywhere. There'll be live music. There'll be drinks. It's a really cool area to live in. It's good walking score, as they say. Like you can walk down the street up to the main area and go to a restaurant, bar, and have some fun. All right, let's get to the Villages. I've sold a number of houses in the Villages to investors, mostly from out of town, but this is good for young families as well. Now, the title of this video was Affordable Areas That Aren't Ghetto. And I gotta tell you, depending on who you talk to, the Villages are kind of threading that line there, okay? So, the Villages, the thing with them is a lot of these houses are rented out to people, which means they don't take as good care of the property as you would if you owned it. Also, this is what they all look like, okay? So they don't have very good curb appeal. Like, that's not a very attractive building. It's a box. But I don't like using the word ghetto because it's not like the West End. Like, you're not going to get shot. Like, I think the crime is pretty low in this area. It's more just curb appeal and stuff like that. For example, look at this video. I took this video a while ago driving down the street. Okay, you notice that there's like trees growing out of this guy's eavesdrops. He's not cleaning his eavesdrops because he's a tenant. He doesn't live there, okay? So you'll see a lot more stuff like that in this area. Also, there is no gas line for most of these streets, meaning you need electric heating and cooling. That used to be a problem. I don't even think it's a problem anymore because now they have these things. You've probably seen them. These are those Mitsubishi split unit air conditioners / heaters. So they are very efficient. Like, your pocketbook will not hurt. It's the same as having a gas furnace and central air. So it's not really a problem anymore. But back in like the 10, 20 years ago, in the winter, it'd get really cold, and you turn on those baseboard heaters, and they're so expensive and so inefficient. People would have like $600 heating bills. But that's not really a problem anymore. So anyway, the Villages got a bad name, but I don't really think they're that bad anymore. In fact, it might be a good place to live if you have a budget of only $350, because you can actually get into this neighborhood around the $350,000 mark right now as of the date of recording this video. And then, you know what? If you're an investor, you can rent that out for like $2,000 a month. So look at this one. This one was a little bit more. It was $400,000, but it was really, 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 really nice inside. And I'm thinking you can get minimum $2,000, but probably more, like $2,200, $2,300 a month. Rent's been going up for this place. This house right here sold a little under $350,000, to be honest with you. Now, it was dated inside, like the 90s, but it was in good shape. You know, like picture the kitchen from... what was that show? Home Improvement? Like, that's kind of more what it looked like. But it's fine, if you're not picky. That was just under $350,000. Again, I think prices are going up this year. I could be wrong. I don't know the future, but I've been seeing multiple offers come up again. So keep that in mind. Call me again if you need more updated pricing. But anyway, this one right here, this sold for $400,000. It was completely renovated inside with new flooring and new kitchens and fresh paint. So like I said, like, if you don't mind that there's no curb appeal, you can get a beautiful house for like $400,000 in this area. It's something to keep in mind, okay? Again, they're not very great with curb appeal, and it is a small lot, okay? You don't have a giant backyard. You're not going to get that in the Villages. But if you just want to own some real estate in this ridiculous country where prices keep going up, this is a good place to get your foot in the door and start building equity. Or if you're an investor, it's a great spot to get a place and rent it out to somebody. It's also close to the WFCU Center where the Spitfires play, and there's lots of concerts, and it's nearby really nice parks, and across the street is $1 million homes that they're just building right now. Like, it's a good area. It's a good spot to get into. All right, last but not least, here we are at Remington Park. In my mind, I think Remington Park is pretty close to the quality of the Villages, okay? But they're going to be a different style of home. They're older, and they're a little bit smaller. So it's located right here, right by the EC Row, which is pretty nice. And then you also got Howard Avenue. It shoots you up and down, north and south pretty quickly. Now, here's a big warning label with Remington Park. I think this is silly. I think it's hogwash, but I got to tell you about it, okay? So back in 2015, an investigation was undertaken because there appeared like there might be higher than average cancer rates in Remington Park. What the heck? What's going on? People that live there blamed this factory that's located kind of nearby, okay? Now, they did this big, long study and investigated it, and they found no link to that factory or anything else in the area causing the cancer. One thing they did say was that every single person in this community that was part of this study that had cancer smoked cigarettes a lot. I think it was over 50% of them were a pack a day smokers or more, and 75% of them were daily smokers. Okay, so they're saying that's more likely why you guys have cancer, rather than there's not enough evidence for us to blame a factory that's nearby. Okay, now there are still some people, obviously, that were affected by cancer that have their opinions and are upset about it. I don't think there's anything. I would still buy a house if I was in that price range, in that neighborhood, or a rental. I don't think it's that bad, but I feel like I need to tell you that just as a warning label, that is a thing. Anyway, let's actually look at some houses in this area, okay? So this guy right here sold just over $350,000. It had 2 bedrooms on the main floor, then one extra in the little half story, 1 bathroom. This one wasn't as nice, sold for $300,000. It had 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom and no basement. So they are small. You're getting like 600 to 800 square feet. All right? It's not going to be huge, but it's a nice little house on property that is yours for $350 or under. That's you can't do that in Ontario. So aside from that, those are the kind of houses you're getting in Remington Park. Aside from that, in that price range, for the most part, you're going to be in the West End, where I think it's worse. There's crime, there's drugs. It's a bad area of town. I think these areas I've directed you to are the cheapest areas you can get into that are safe, and you're going to be okay, and it's a nice little area to live in, okay? And again, obviously the start of the list are nicer areas than the end of the list, but figure out where your budget is and figure out what you can afford. My name is Ryan. I'm a real estate appraiser and real estate agent in Windsor. I know what I'm talking about. That's my phone number. If you are going to buy a place in Windsor, feel free to reach out to me. That's all I got. I'll talk to you next week.